Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now when you use promo code DNVR and place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA contest, if that team wins, you get $150 in free bets from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. I am Patrick Lyons.
And I'm Suzie Hunter. I have no voice right now. I'm so sorry.
This is like the fourth day in a row that you've had no voice. I bet on tomorrow's Friday Suzie show, it might be a little bit better.
Oh my God. We can acknowledge that this is not live.
Okay. Well, we didn't get to the 1 minute mark before that happened. Just threw a wrench into the works for the whole week now.
I'm not trying to lie to our viewers.
It's not lying. I'm just not necessarily acknowledging that we are pre-recording something.
It's the holidays.
We've got some relevant news on renovations on some sports stadiums here in Colorado. Trevor Story getting snubbed yet again. We care about him.
I care about Trevor Story.
We still care.
I don't think Trevor Story thinks about us, but we think about Trevor Story all the time.
That's true. He gets snubbed again. And then, of course, we're going to play a game because, it's the Rockies' 30th anniversary. So we need to learn and discuss some things that are maybe older than 30 years old or younger than 30 years old, like both of us.
Yes.
And if you believe that, we've got some oceanfront property in Arizona we'd love to sell you.
To be fair, one big earthquake, Arizona might be oceanfront.
Yeah, maybe true.
It's not that funny.
That wouldn't be a bad thing for that state. Of all the states, right? Just any of the desert states, give them a little bit of water. Snap off into the ocean. Why not? Couldn't hurt. So in Power Field, we got news last week. It's getting a $100 million makeover. The project, it's going to begin after the season, not after they've been eliminated. That would be now. I mean, nobody would be able to go to the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
So that would be like, hey, I'm trying to get to my seat. Sorry, we're working on it already. We got the memo. Season is over.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, that was not the case. They're going to get a new video board, premium hospitality areas, technology concessions, Broncos team store, and elevators. Do they not have elevators yet, or they're getting new ones?
Do they need more elevators? I've never taken an elevator, but I know they have the whole ramp situation. But I feel like
right.
Yeah.
Not escalators, elevators. I don't know. That's curious. Maybe it's more of an upgrade.
Kale, does Mile High need more elevators?
Or one? I don't think so. Yeah. That is very strange, and it did get me thinking. What could you actually buy for $100 million? You could give $50 million to the St. Louis Cardinals.
You could give away
and then pocket the other $50 million.
I was gonna say you could give away 2 Nolan Arenados.
Multiple. I mean, you couldn't afford for the cloning process, but whoever did that, you could just say, well, we'll go. What position would 3 Nolan Arenados, or are we going back in time using a time machine and now just cloning one? Or are we giving 2 more Nolan Arenados to the Cardinals?
I think you train we're going to give 2 more because they already have one.
That was what page I
mean, I think you just train the other 2 to do like maybe second and first.
Well, that's the question.
First
base
I think
seems logical.
You just fill the infield with Nolan's Arenado.
It would really be interesting so first base, logical. I mean, Nolan may even end up there by the end of his career, late 30s. I mean, that would be wild if he won like a Gold Glove at first base at like 39 years old. That would not surprise me.
But I can't imagine a world where Nolan Arenado is not winning the Gold Glove at third base.
Well, there's that
it's too. It's just like, it's very consistent.
Why is he not playing third base, even at 39? Yeah, no, that is kind of wild. But then what is the third Nolan Arenado? What position? You could go corner outfield, but knowing that third Nolan Arenado clone, like I do, and from the research I've done from Michael Keaton's documentary called Multiplicity, I would think one of them may want to play like center field or shortstop. I bet you'd want to stay on the dirt.
Yeah,
maybe,
I think
maybe
so.
Trim a little bit.
I think that'd be fun. I'd love to see a Nolan clone at a shortstop.
And he was a catcher in high school. So does he do that? That's what I'm saying. Like the third clone is the most interesting clone.
Oh yeah, third clone, total wild card.
You could also with $100 million, and we'll talk about Coors Field renovations if they're going to get them. We'll bring this all back to our world. You could buy 28 commercial wind turbines and save $2 million.
Those pay for themselves.
No, they do. I think they generate like $3.5 million each per year and can get enough electricity for like 20,000 houses. So you'd be pretty popular in your neighborhood if you gave that electricity away.
Got everyone a round of
That's
electricity.
Nice. You could also, and you would probably know about this, and you'll probably hear about a couple price tags in the next year as you go to a couple weddings. You can fund one wedding with it. And as crazy as that sounds, $100 million for one wedding. India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani, spent $100 million on his daughter's wedding in December of 2018.
Yo, they booked Beyonce for that. I feel like that's where most of the
that was $99 million of it.
I feel like that was probably a good chunk of the budget right there was booking Beyonce.
But it was a week-long event. Like it was a whole thing.
Yeah, Indian weddings are usually several days, 3 days minimum.
Didn't know that.
3 days minimum.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Right on. Mm-hmm. There was 5,000 meals or meals for 5,000 people, 3 a day over the course of 4 days. So okay, you're giving back a little bit.
You know what? I love that they flew in their guests and cover their accommodations. I love that.
Because
I wish my friends would do that.
And all of their friends are probably already 100 millionaires, which again, once you have money, you never need it anymore because people are giving you stuff all the time. Like free McDonald's t-shirts and stuff. You know what I mean? I know multiple millionaires that I work with that get free McDonald's soccer scarves. All right. Inside joke.
Yo, I got a swag box from McDonald's.
And as much as $100 million sounds nice, the dad apparently he held the ceremony at their palatial 27-story home in Mumbai. So he saved some money there. In the end, it was probably a tax write-off. I think they actually profited from this wedding.
I would bet they would because all of those people who are being flown in and don't have to pay for accommodations probably gave incredible gifts.
What was the most lavish thing at a wedding that you've ever experienced? I've never necessarily been to a lavish one.
Ooh, I've been to some really good weddings. My sister's wedding was just gorgeous, for the entire every second of that wedding was just absolutely stunning.
Nice.
But I can't think of one really over the top thing.
My cousin had a make your own chipwich bar. So I was like, that's dope. 2 cookies, scoop of ice cream on it. And then I was very proud of myself.
But you had to do that yourself. So it really would have been more lavish if someone did it for you.
True. But you're getting your hands in it. I did a move.
You know what this family from India does not do? They do not do anything themselves.
Yeah, you're right. Someone actually
that's a peasant take right there to be excited to get your hands in something.
At this $100 million wedding, someone walked around with hors d'oeuvres and then said, "Oh, I'd like that one," and then they fed it to you. That's how it goes. That makes a lot of sense. You could also buy an island. But you go, yeah, I guess $100 million.
Where do you find an island to buy, Patrick?
So I spent about an hour last night, Wednesday night, on privateislandsonline.com, a real website, privateislandsonline.com. If you think real estate porn on Zillow is bad, try privateislandsonline.com.
Is
and
this
when you
an
use
ad
promo
read?
code DNVR, you will get 2 free rafts at your pier of your island. No, so you can search by lifestyle. There's islands with beaches, Lake Island, seasonal, historic, and then there's one that says turnkey. What? Turnkey on an island?
What is a turnkey island?
So a turnkey on a home, it just means it's ready to go. You're not gonna need to do any, but we're talking about an island. So I've never used a key on an island.
My gosh.
It's just kind of quirky.
Right.
So surprisingly, we can all, the 3 of us, and Kale, we'll see how things are going. Maybe we save up for the next year. But we can get 12 acres on Big Tan Cook Island in Nova Scotia for $68,000. Gang, we could actually own an island.
But in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, on AKA planet Earth. It says not on a planet. It's I own that star. Do you? This would be legit stuff. Come on, for those 3 days in the summer when it's warm in Nova Scotia, our island's going to be popping off. And that's such a deal because 1 acre of land in Ontario on Ken's Island is over $100,000. Ken's Island? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, this is actually shocking. Nova Scotia is beautiful. Yeah, this is a bargain. You're right.
You can also rent a private island. So All right, but let's talk about Coors Field. Like, legitimately, could they? $100 million does sound like not like a lot of money. Like when I heard that number, I thought, what are they just getting a couple elevators? Turns out they are.
Yeah.
But then only a few other things.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like to me, like I just know how expensive these things get.
Yeah.
So I feel like anything that involves a major sport, $100 million is really not a lot of money.
No. Rockies renovations. No, not gonna happen really anytime soon. Nothing major. Maybe a small $100 million renovation. But 2019, they reinvested $300 million in Coors Field. Actually, they did it for like a couple years on a few different things. Also, 2013 to 14 off season was when the rooftop got put in. It's still like crazy going back and seeing highlights from before 2013, and it's just like a plain upper deck. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Like the rooftop was,
and now it's very
genius.
Now it's very exciting.
It's not open in the off season, is it?
No.
That makes no sense to me.
I would
revenue.
I would schlep all the way up to the roof deck.
And it would be probably breezy and cold. But come on.
Well, like every once in a while,
open in the winter?
Like once a week, though, you get like a 70-degree day in Denver. Yeah. So I feel like on one of those days, I would go up there.
No doubt. Like that's just a missed opportunity. I know Wrigley. I saw our guys over at CHGO.
Yeah.
Wrigley's got some kind of like festival going on.
Oh, do they have an ice rink?
Skate. Yeah, they got an ice rink.
Why is Coors Field not putting an ice rink out there?
Again. Exactly. It's
missing out on money. Like the ice rink in McGregor Square is cute, but like I would be so much more interested in skating on the field at Coors Field.
Oh, that would be great. Actually, I haven't like been over to McGregor Square. I didn't even see the Pixar stuff. Was that indoors or was that outdoors?
I never saw it. I'm assuming that it was indoors.
Well, you've seen the ice rink.
But I saw the ice rink. I walked through there last weekend and I was like, oh, cute.
And it's just like on the ground, like where you walk through?
Yeah, it's like under the big screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
They've got a big old Christmas tree.
There you go.
Yeah.
Menorah?
I didn't see one.
Ooh, scandalous.
I know. It is Hanukkah right now. So
late Hanukkah.
I mean,
December 18th. Again, we are like,
oh my God, stop it.
4 or 5 days into it by this point, obviously. But it didn't start until Sunday, 4 or 5 days ago.
But when I walked through, it was, before Hanukkah had started. So I hope that at this point they have a menorah set up.
Hanukkah season. It's not Christmas yet.
That's true.
Season.
That's true.
Why are you're a real McGregor Square apologist? You know that?
I'm guess
tired
so.
Of it, Suzie.
Wow.
No. Well, it's funny you brought up McGregor Square because that actually had to do with some of the renovations. Rockies, their lease was ending, their 30-year lease starting in 1995. And so it was like, well, we could look for a new home somewhere else and maybe, buy a cheaper piece of land out like Dick's Sporting Goods Park, near the airport, something like that, which eventually you could see something like that happening, in the next 50 years. But they're like, we like where we're at. Coors Field's great. We'll pay for some renovations. Do you think you could give us a little parking lot of land next to the stadium that maybe we could have and do whatever the hell we wanted to? That was McGregor Square.
Yeah.
That was all part of that agreement. And according to an article featured on the DNVR.com.
An article?
Back in April of 2019 by some dork named Patrick Lyons, there were new LED lights that were put in, which Charlie Blackmon didn't like. He said he didn't like them at the end of the season when I spoke with him. I think they were he just wasn't as natural. Like, I think he's just used to seeing it at a certain way or a certain brightness.
He would be super particular about the lighting. Yeah. He would be.
Yeah, like I'm sure Charlie all the time wants to say and doesn't, although maybe he has a couple times, I don't remember. Like, why would they ask me? Right? He just decisions are made. Why would they ask me? I'm only their right fielder making $20 million, right?
I'm only the person who actually is very affected by whatever lights you pick.
The scoreboard, I think, increased like almost like 300%. It's funny because when you see old photos, you don't pick it up like that. It's a smaller scoreboard because of like the frame that's around it. Is now the full scoreboard. Yeah. But it used to just be like it used to have like a smaller little
I remember, I had been to Coors Field before they changed the scoreboard.
Nice.
I'd been there a few times, but yeah, it was here's my little beef though about the new scoreboard. The outline of the
mountains, the
outline of the mountains like just doesn't match the logo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's not exactly. Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to investigate that.
I mean, it's just like...
I would have thought they had to get it like exactly right.
No, they didn't. It's like actually like extremely incorrect.
All right. Well, if you've noticed it in our chat, go ahead. Let us know right now. We'll read out your comments if go with the bit. If you have noticed that Wells Fargo Club area got new carpeting and a new like Boyer's Coffee setup. So I mean, again, important investments here were made.
Yeah.
But the clubhouse was like the biggest one.
Yeah.
It feels a lot bigger.
Clubhouse looks nice.
It feels a lot bigger than it does before, although it's actually smaller because like the beams that are in there are a lot wider because they have a lot more like wiring in it. The lockers like come out a little bit further than before, but they knocked out like the ceiling and there's a lot more light. So it feels more spacious when actually the footprint is a little bit smaller. Before it was just like all wood.
Now listen, that just goes to show you what a layout can do.
It's true.
To a room.
Yeah. It's a much better setup. In general, if you ever go or if you ever take a tour of Coors Field, I know when I took my first one in like 2013, we went into the visitors locker room, not the home team, but the visitors locker room is what the home side, the Rocky side used to look like. Yeah. It's all like wood.
They just didn't bother. Dark. They just didn't bother renovating that.
Oh, why, right?
Why would you? So it's like a little time capsule.
It is. It really is. It's pretty neat. I do like that. In the lockers, they have like air that like, or they got fans that circulate air through like the back of it. So they have like a day game after a night game. It'll like help dry out the sweaty like jerseys and pants and various straps.
Gross.
And they've got store
boys are gross.
straps. It's just like straps, catcher straps. That's what I meant. And then they can fit oversized bat bags, and they have room for up to 16 pairs of high top sneakers, which even then is not enough. And I was racking my brain. So Trevor Story, big sneakerhead. He had a lot of sneakers. He had some spillover. Him and Arenado would share a locker in between them. And I think it was actually mostly Arenado's stuff at that time. Then Arenado leaves and then Story would have his stuff bleed over. But I'm trying to think now, who do you think the biggest sneakerhead on the team is? Like who has like a big collection?
That's a really good question. Well, I know everyone's a Croc collector now.
I have not brought it to the show yet, but there was a photograph of Elias Montero on Instagram sitting on like a Mercedes-Benz or something, like chilling in the Dominican Republic, and he had his Crocs on. And I was like,
I love that.
That's my favorite photo.
I love that.
I should have.
These guys are wearing their Crocs in the off season because I think I saw Ryan Feltner post on Instagram his Crocs. And I'm like, yes,
so I do like that. I'm like, what? Like, okay, yeah, wear it in your real life. Why not? That's how they get noticed on the street. They're the only people wearing purple Crocs in Denver in the middle of the winter. Yeah, there's a lot of the relief pitchers aren't sneaker guys because they're like, yeah, I mean, we're not really getting a big sponsorship, so I'm gonna let that dream kind of sail away.
Speaking of sponsorship.
Yes. Sweet. Yes. Allbirds sneakers are we'll get to it. We'll get to our ad reads. But yeah. So Ryan McMahon, I think, is sneakerheadish. I don't think he's a huge sneakerhead, but he is one. And he had at the beginning of the season. I noticed first day of spring training. I go, those cleats look familiar. He's like, you like them, huh? They were Trev's. So Trevor actually gave it to him. We put it out on the DNVR Rockies account on Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, he got the hand-me-downs, which were nice.
That's so cute. That's some like Big Brother stuff right there.
Oh, it is.
That's adorable.
Yeah, Nolan gave away all his stuff to Josh Fuentes after he got traded. And he's like, here, you can have all my Rockies gear. Trev handed down all of his stuff to McMahon and some of the other guys. I think Brendan Rodgers got a couple things. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to be wearing purple that much in Boston.
Remember me.
Yeah.
From these.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we remember all of the greats in Denver sports here on the corner of Colfax and York.
There we go.
Where if you are a diehard, if you're a member, if you're a true diehard to the DNVR.com now, an annual membership is going to get you 15% off your entire tab down at the bar. You get 20% off DNVRlocker.com. Price breaks on the party bus. I think there's at least one more tailgate coming up.
Yeah.
For the Broncos.
There
the one on Sunday was exciting. I know it was, again, a couple of days ago, but I remember it vividly from the photographs that I saw a couple of days ago. But you get a free T-shirt each and every year. You are a diehard, and you get access to the diehards only Discord,
which is great,
which is really
so
fun. Besides just the little niche communities, like there's a whole lacrosse one that the guys are going off on, which is great. Pro wrestling, I'm in there a little bit. We'll get you in there eventually once I watch the Lindsay Lohan movie. You said you would do a wrestling.
I did say that.
You said you would, quote, do a wrestling. So it's on me, guys.
Did
For
say
the Pro Wrestling
that.
Discord. I got this. Don't worry. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to set aside some time. I'll figure this thing out. Are you going to quiz me? How are you going to know I don't just lie?
I'm going to quiz you.
So you've seen it?
Of course I have. Why do you mean have I seen it? Like, how else can I tell you that it's such a good movie? I've only seen it once, but if you're watching it, I'll watch it again so I can properly quiz you.
Wow. Okay.
On stuff that you can't Google about it.
Googleable. Well, you would know. It would be pretty obvious. I don't typically type during shows. I'd be honest, but you got to do your work just in case, right?
Yes.
Just in case. FOCO is back with us, man. They've got our back, and they're gonna have yours too. Whether it's Stanley Cup merchandise from the Avalanche, their big victory back in June. The parade was amazing, but you can kind of relive it through the bobbleheads. Have a little parade of bobbleheads on your shelf.
Oh, that's adorable.
You can do a Jokic little parade for the back-to-back MVPs. I don't think he had a parade when he was in Serbia. Kale would know. He just had a parade on the back of his horses.
I feel like every day that Jokic is in Serbia, it is a parade for him. Am I wrong, Kale?
Yeah, it very much should be.
He does not have a mic.
I need to know if there was a parade in Serbia. I don't think there was. There should have been. In the capital city of... And I'll let you look good by saying the capital city of Serbia. I could say it right now because obviously I know it, but I'll make you look good and...
Belgrade, obviously.
Belgrade.
Yeah.
You got there about the same time. I think I got there.
I think the only parade, like festival he's been a part of is when they won the silver medal at the Olympics.
Oh, that's cool. We're number two. But it's
the Olympics.
It's like a huge deal because when the U.S. sends anyone, that like in basketball, getting silver is sort of like winning for the rest of the world. So
silver's the gold.
Yeah, silver's a big deal.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, if you are a smaller country,
how many gold medals or silver medals? How many medals do you have at all? Do you even have a bronze, Patrick?
Me?
Yeah.
That's a personal question. We're gonna have to talk with HR afterwards about that. But one thing I will let our new HR person know is that they can also get 10% off their entire purchase at foco.com when they use promo code DNVR. And that's fantastic. They also have the Rockies City Connect stuff, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Christmas ale. It's that time of the year for the Breck Brew. They're doing a cool nice list sweepstakes. They gave away tickets to every single Avs home game. Now they want to hook you up for the holidays. Check out a link and more information in our show description. Breck is made with 100% renewable energy. So when you're cracking open one of those Christmas ale and the chill of winter, especially the chill of winter today, like it's officially, it's the second day of winter here on December 22nd. And it was in the negatives this morning, gang. Negatives.
Patrick.
It's Christmas ale season. Get in it.
You're killing me
All
here.
Right. Hey, I know it's been a rough week for you, but you got one more show this week, and then it's the weekend for you. So
yes,
Suzie on the bright side. All right. Dansby Swanson, we talked about it already on Monday. Signs with the Cubs. I forget how much it was. $177 million. Check this out. The 2014 shortstop class, top 10 shortstop prospects, they have now made $1.4 billion in free agency from that group. Now, there's actually a Rocky on that list from 2014, but it is not who you think it is. So let's start with the top five. Let's look at the top five guys. This was from MLB, a pipeline. Xander Bogaerts, Javier Baez, Carlos Correa, Francisco Lindor, and Addison Russell are in the top five. I mean, Francisco Lindor was obviously an extension. Correa this offseason, $300+ million. Baez to Detroit last offseason. Bogaerts, $280 to the Padres. Now, are you familiar with the name Addison Russell?
Sounds familiar.
All right, so...
Where's he at these days?
Korea. So he was the 11th overall pick in 2011 by the A's out of high school. They actually dealt him at the 2014 trade deadline to the Cubs, who were in their final year of tanking. So they gave up, I think it was like Jeff Samardzija, Jason Hamill, former Rockies pitcher. They got a couple guys. He was a top 5 prospect in all of baseball in 2015.
That's huge.
He debuted that year, was an all-star in 2016 with the Cubs. So he was the guy that was at shortstop when they won the World Series. Kind of interesting because the last time that they had won in 1908, Cubs had a very famous double play combination. They were, legendized, for lack of a better term. What's the word I'm looking for? They were remembered forever from a poem called Baseball Sad Lexicon, Tinker to Evers to Chance. The double play combination that the Cubs had. Joe Tinker, who did play baseball in Denver, Johnny Evers, and Frank Chance. They're all Hall of Famers.
Great baseball names.
Right?
Incredible names.
Very good. All Hall of Famers. So that 2016 team had Russell at shortstop, Javi Baez at second base. Not necessarily a Hall of Famer yet, but still very good. Anthony Rizzo at first base. But Russell he's kind of the odd man out. And that's really where his potential Hall of Fame run ends, because he hasn't played in MLB in a little while.
Yeah.
He was productive in 2017 and 18, but at the end of the 2018 season, he was actually suspended 40 games for violating MLB's domestic violence policy. He missed some games. That might be kind of, more infamously than famously as a baseball player. Missed some of the games at the start of 2019. Played fine, but was non-tendered by the Cubs at the end of the season. Everyone kind of was hands off. The pandemic hit. He went over to Korea in 2020. Was good. Went to the Mexican League in 2021 and 2022. Was really good last season. But unlike Jonathan Singleton, who did get a big league deal, nothing for him. And so he's going back to South Korea to play with the Kiwoom Heroes.
Okay.
And he's still only 28 years old.
Oh, he's so young still.
That's wild, that journey, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the wild. Who is calling you on Thursday at 11:28?
My sister is calling me.
Back half of the top 10. Number 6, Corey Seager, 300 plus mil. Adalberto Mondesi, who's in his final year with Kansas City before free agency this year. If he has a big year, a healthy year, he could be quite attractive entering his age 28 season. He's still incredibly young. If speed becomes a much more valuable asset with these new rules that are in place, I could see him making some good money. Alan Hansen hasn't really done much in his big league career. Number 9, Luis Sardinez. And number 10, the lone Rocky on the list, Chris Owings.
Wow.
Yes. Chris Owings is the Rocky on this list.
I completely forgot about it.
Honestly, he was very good with the Rockies in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
He just was very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really good signing that they had made. He played 26 games with the Orioles last year. I didn't realize that. I also didn't realize
everyone's played 26 games with the Orioles.
That's true. Like, I've played 18, not 26. But still, like, I shouldn't have played 18 games in the last couple of years. That's how you know they were tanking. They put me out in right field. The Orioles, we know that a couple of years ago the Yankees were like the East Coast version of the Rockies because they had a lot of like Rockies guys, Tulo, Ottavino, DJ LeMahieu, Chad Bettis, and Chris Iannetta signed like minor league deals to show up in spring training. The Orioles were that team last year, which I kind of didn't realize. Again, Owings only played 26 games. Tyler Nevin was there. We know he was included with Taron Vavra, who also played a little bit last year. They came over in the Michael Givens trade. Anthony Bemboom, not a Rocky. He was an isotope. But that counts.
I remember this name.
That's a good name.
Such a good baseball
it's
name.
It's a great catcher name too, right?
Yes.
That or like a first base DH. Like, you got to have a tummy. If your name is Anthony Bemboom, eat a lot of pasta, hit a lot of home runs. Jordan Lyles, Rico Garcia, and Logan Allen, who also wasn't a Rocky and was actually an Oriole first, and then the Rockies picked him up on waivers. So, but yeah, low key. Where was Trevor Story on this list, Susie? That was the name I know you were thinking of. That's what everyone was thinking.
Yeah.
Trevor Story is going to be on this list.
Was he not part of that draft vintage?
He was there.
He was there.
He hadn't really come into his own yet.
Yeah.
After the 2014 season, he had only scratched Double-A just a little bit. He batted 200 with the Tulsa Drillers, 302 on base percentage, 381 slug. Really wasn't until 2015 when he kind of split the season in Double-A with the New Britain Rockcats and the Albuquerque Isotopes. Now, I looked and double-checked just for shits and
fun?
giggles.
Okay.
I had to look it up, and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm going to look it up. It was not stupid. I mean, it is stupid. But I was not wrong in thinking this. As it turns out, in the transition from Tulsa to New Britain, right, back-to-back years, 14 and 15, Trevor Story is the only player that's a big leaguer that played for both Tulsa and New Britain. Nobody else of like the 20 to 25 guys on each of those teams played on both.
Oh, that's really interesting.
That's just kind of weird.
That is really weird.
But I like that. I like that kind of stuff.
I love that. And then, of course, the next year, the Rockcats became the Yard Goats.
Yeah. And
there were a lot of big leaguers on that 2016 Yard Goats team. The Road Goats.
Yeah, they don't sell any merchandise with that necessarily.
I wish they did. I think it's like a piece of it's a piece of their history that was actually like really sour. Like True. The city of Hartford was not happy with that organization.
You'd have to do like a retro anniversary. I mean, not an anniversary, but almost like steer into it like at the 10th year, like special like Road Goats 10th anniversary patch kind of thing. And you go, like that actually would.
That actually would. All right, Tim, if you're watching, please write this down.
2026 Road Goats 10th anniversary patches. Make it happen. But yeah, Tulo trade happened in 2015. Jose Reyes thing happened right after that. Opening day 2016, 2 home runs for Trevor Story.
Iconic.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. Hopefully Trevor Story is not history.
No, we hope not.
I hope not.
I don't think he threw like only a couple balls 80 miles an hour last year. His arm is interesting to say the least.
Oh, Trev.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if he ends up moving over to back to shortstop. I don't think so because of I think he's like he was in the second percentile last year on Baseball Savant for like arm strength. So I hope he's all right. I know he's gonna be all right if he's going out on the links, which I know he likes to do from time to time, and he's decked out in pins and aces.
Trevor Story is gonna be decked out.
Yeah, we gotta. You
just know it,
right? He's grandfathered in to get some freebies. It's a Colorado brand that we know and love. The Golf Bros, Spencer Smith, Mitchell Smith. Man, those guys.
Are they brothers?
That's the rumor. Are we allowed to go public with that? I'm not sure. The TikTok phenomenon that is Big Drive energy.
Their TikToks are so chaotic.
They
are
really
unhinged.
are funny. I really do enjoy their stuff, and I'm picky. I have I feel like a high brow for comedy.
Oh, okay.
Their stuff is there. Their stuff is legit there. They make those beer sleeves or seltzer sleeves, which you can just conveniently hide just in your golf bag as you take around on the front 9 or the back 9, whatever it is. They got all kinds of colorways for the Broncos, Rockies, Avs. Head over to pinsandaces.com. Use code DNVR to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. Man, the holidays are wreaking a havoc on my stomach a little bit.
Little bit?
And it's only a little bit because I've got Athletic Greens. Get my one scoop, 75, high quality, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, minerals, adaptogens. It's fantastic. I don't need tinctures for it either. I just need the 75 things I just mentioned in my one scoop. Seriously, it does give you a balance, man. Like,
yeah.
It's medicine for your tummy.
I'm bringing them travel packs with me while I'm out of town for a bit.
That's right. For the holidays. I'm looking forward to getting some messages from you when you start that trip. I'm guessing maybe tomorrow. That's true, actually. You are going tomorrow. So make it easy. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs for your first purchase. All you got to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Rockies for your ultimate nutritional insurance. athleticgreens.com/Rockies. Take ownership over your health and take ownership over your wallet by winning a couple bucks on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh, yeah. This is the good stuff.
Same game parlays. You can stack a bunch of things like the guy for the World Cup who he didn't even have to wait for the result. He just got a buyout.
He got a buyout. You know
That's
what?
Great.
I'm happy for him.
You don't even have to win and you can make money. Like that's where it's at. That's where it's at right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Use promo code DNVR. All you got to do is make a $5 pregame moneyline bet on the NBA and get $150 in free bets if your team wins, even if that's one of the big favorites where someone's resting. It's one of those back-to-back games. Mm-hmm. Hammer that. Make some money. It's fantastic. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Again, $5 bet on any NBA team to win. Pre-game moneyline bet. $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Only with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Got to feel really happy with the Broncos win last weekend. Mm-hmm. People won some money if they had the confidence in the hometown club to win.
Yes.
All right, Suzie. It's time to do some trivia.
Okay.
Now, back in, I want to say September. Wish I knew the exact date. Should have, because that's a good one. That's evergreen. It was basically before and after Ezekiel Tovar's birth.
Yeah.
Because he was born in after 2000.
August of 2001.
Yeah. So he was the first Rockies player born after 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So you asked me a bunch of different things that happened before.
Oh yeah, like
or
is
after.
this older or younger than Ezekiel Tovar?
Older or younger. So we're about to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Rockies.
Oh my
So we're going way back.
Oh my goodness.
We're going back to April 5th, 1993, that first game at Shea Stadium against the Mets. So I'm going to ask you a couple things.
All right, I'm going to close the laptop.
Look at that. Look at
that.
There
we go.
Now Kel, you can just maybe put these up in like any kind of order of like before and after, and I'll just kind of throw the question out at it. Do you know who that is, first and foremost?
Well, I can't see that.
I would have to put my glasses on to know. So that is Johnny Carson.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Not the original host of The Tonight Show, but the
like,
guy
a very iconic one.
One of the most iconic. So his final Tonight Show was... Oh, I almost said the date. Okay.
So are you asking if the final show was before or after April 1993?
April 5th, 1993. He didn't actually have any guests on his final show, which I didn't realize.
Oh, wow. That's a boss move.
Kind of was. I didn't realize that. I knew that like his final guest, I thought Bette Midler was the final guest, but it was Robin Williams and Bette Midler. So it was like the penultimate show. There's your word for the week.
Yes.
Second to last show, Robin Williams, Bette Midler, but the final show, no guests. Was this before or after April of 1993?
This is a tough one. So Jay Leno took the baton from him after that, correct?
Took the microphone baton.
Took the microphone. Oh, this is so tricky. I feel like
baton.
this is a trick question because Johnny Carson feels like, 1,000 years ago, but...
Okay, interesting.
I'm going to say before.
You'd be right.
Thank you.
Let's go. You're good at these games, Suzie.
Thank you. I have a really good internal clock.
You are really good. Yes.
I have a great internal clock. That's why it's so annoying when I'm always late for things.
May 22nd, 1992. It's amazing you have an internal clock for things that happened like 10 years before you were even born, which is crazy.
I know.
All right.
I'm truly gifted.
Cue us up. All right. Silence of the Lambs wins Best Picture.
After.
Now, have you ever seen Silence of the Lambs?
No.
Are
but
you
it was
afraid
after.
Or what?
Yeah, it's just not my style of movie.
You don't even want to talk about it.
I
feel
don't.
like
It sounds really creepy. So
is.
I'm not gonna watch that kind of.
Not going in. Jodie Foster, right?
Yeah,
Anthony
I respect her.
Hopkins.
I mean, I respect all these actors. I'm just not gonna watch a creepy movie.
It's a good movie though.
I'm sure it is.
Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill's in it. He's so fun.
Not from what I've heard.
You know how in Colorado you get a little dry and you're like, oh, I need a little bit of lotion.
Stop it.
He supports people putting lotion on their skin.
Oh my God, just tell me if I'm right or not.
It was before.
It was before?
So it came out in 91 and but it won Best Picture in March of 1992. We might have to switch some of these around in order so they're not all before. But I trust the host. Now that I said that, Kel's gonna throw me and you a curveball simultaneously.
All right.
So you're 1 for 1. That's okay. All right, we've got the World Cup. Brazil defeats Italy on penalty kicks. Man, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
That's what just happened on Sunday. In the World Cup, hosted by the United States. This was in America.
Yeah.
This was the big one that right before MLS got going. Was this before or after the birth of the Rockies?
I'm going to say before.
It was after. July 17th, 1994.
Wow.
I had tickets to one of the games, or my dad did.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like soccer. I'll pass. I regret it much. So much. That would have been amazing.
Oh, no. Oh, look at this great pick of Mile High.
That's it. That's the one.
Okay.
All right. You're gonna do good. I feel like you're in your head a little bit. Let's talk more about Silence of the Lambs.
I really sold myself. I really I came in a little too confident after getting that first one right.
So let's talk more about Silence of the Lambs, maybe.
Okay.
And maybe that'll help you reset. Or let's talk about Nirvana. How about that?
Okay.
Nirvana's Nevermind is released, or rather, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Okay, this
LP
kid.
Nevermind.
This kid is an adult. This kid on the cover, this naked baby. He's an adult now.
I think there's been some lawsuits involved.
I think maybe he might have sued Nirvana.
It's like, hey, I didn't remember signing off on that contract when I was
to his little
2 months old.
His little weenie.
Nirvana's
being on the
hit,
album cover.
When Nirvana's hit comes, the grunge movement gets going, which is characterized by distorted guitars, dispirited vocals, lots of flannel, and of course, dating Courtney Love.
Yes.
integral to being a very good grunge band.
Of course.
So, Nevermind by the Seattle band Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, before or after April of 1993?
After.
Before.
Oh,
Before
no.
September 10th, 1991. It was earlier than I thought. I think I still would have guessed before, but that was a little bit earlier than I thought.
I really was not like a conscious human being yet. Before 1993.
What's weird is I was never like directly into grunge, but all of the bands that were influenced by grunge, I'm into, or bands that inspired the grunge or Nirvana that inspired Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I'm into those. Like I'm into the Pixies.
So basically, everything else in the peripheral.
It's very weird.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very strange on that.
Oh, wow.
All right, we're not keeping score anymore. All right, next one up for before or after the first game in Rockies history. Ooh, that is prime time.
Ooh.
Deion Sanders, the 49ers defeat the Chargers in Super Bowl 29. Deion Sanders wins his first Super Bowl and becomes the first and only player to appear in a Super Bowl and World Series during their career. He also wins it the next year with the Cowboys. He goes back to back. Did Coach Prime win his first Super Bowl championship before or after the Rockies' first game on April 5th, 1993?
I'm going to say after.
There we go. We're on track.
She's back.
January 29th, 1995.
She's back.
Prime time, man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I feel
There
a
we
little
go.
bit better about myself now.
That's good. All right. Next one up is going to be
What is this?
tomatoes. Tomatoes. So the FDA. Kale's got such a pleased look on his face. He's like, yeah, I did that.
So tomatoes are older than Coors Field. Or older than the Rockies.
Tomatoes. Actually, all right. So the FDA, here's the thing with the tomatoes. The FDA approves the Flavor Savor tomato. Very fond spelling. They took the E out of both. Well, there's an O in flavor. They took the O out of flavor and savor.
They were taking vowels out of words before DNVR.
It predates. That's where our inspiration is the
Wow.
tomato. But the FDA approves the Flavor Savor tomato, the first genetically engineered food product, and probably, this is the godfather of all GMOs.
Oh my gosh.
This is the godfather. Before or after the first game?
I'm going to say after.
You'd be correct. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Sometime in 1994, they made our food in labs.
Wow.
And now what isn't genetically modified? Humans.
I'm genetically modified.
I guess so. Is that true? Can you modify your genes over time? I think that might be a thing. I think you might be able to do that.
Don't quiz me on
We're
that
not talking
right
about plastic
now.
surgery.
One
I
quiz
just
at a
mean-
time. One quiz at a time.
Yeah. Well, you have like new cells in your body like every 7 years.
Yeah.
So I think there could be something to that. All right.
Okay. What else do we have, Patrick?
We got a couple more here. We've got, I believe this
What am I looking at? What am I looking at?
This would be a text-based web browser that's first made available to the public. I believe it's called Mosaic. Within a few years, millions of people become regular users of what will be known as the World Wide Web. So the internet, basically, before or after the Colorado Rockies' first game in April of 1993.
Before.
You'd be correct. Yes.
She's
January
back
of 1992.
on track.
January of 92 is where it's at. I think we might only have maybe one more
We've got
left.
one more? All right, let's see it.
This one is worth 40 points.
Okay.
All right, who do you see there? Who's this guy?
That I can see from here that is Tom Hanks holding an Oscar.
Now, here's the thing about this picture. His forehead looks a lot bigger than I know it to be. Has he been genetically modified with some of that space hair?
Has he gotten some of them hair plugs?
Well, not hair plugs necessarily. You get it. I'm like fascinated with toupees and hair I can spot one from a mile away. So if you have one and you are a diehard, come in. I'm not going to say anything. I will know. But you are still welcome here. I will not. Your secret is safe with me.
If someone comes in wearing hair plugs or a wig and you recognize it, will you buy them a beer for their troubles?
Yes. Do they have to do one of these jobs? Like,
No, because you apparently can just tell.
True.
So if Patrick buys you a beer and says nothing, that is because he thinks your hair is fake.
I have a cousin whose uncle, I know that sounds strange, other side of his family.
Yeah, no, I get.
Who has had a wig for like 20 years. The best wig ever. Even like learning about it after the fact, I would just stare at him. tens of thousands of dollars a year on this wig.
Is that
it's really good.
Is that the fascination origin story for you?
No, I don't know. I don't know where that just comes from. It's just like just noticing. It's attention to detail. It's something about that.
Okay.
But the space hair now, you basically harvest it in the back of your, like you take a square out of the back of your head so that you just get those hairs out, and then you put the follicles in, and that's where you see people with like those like perfectly straight across hairlines, and you're like, there's no way that's natural. That's all real hair there. But you can like notice it.
Interesting.
Or the hairline will keep going back and you've got a clump in the front, then it's like bald on the top and then a hair on the back because you got to keep up on it.
Yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco talked about it once on his podcast.
Yeah.
And I think he said it was like 10,000, maybe it was $100,000 per follicle. No, that couldn't be right. Maybe 10,000.
Yeah.
And again, there's a lot of follicles in a small place.
Yeah.
So Tom Hanks, we're putting you on blast.
Oh my gosh.
America's father. Tom Hanks, back to the game.
Okay, so yeah, what is the question? Let's go back to the game.
Tom Hanks wins his second consecutive Best Actor Oscar. He won for Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, good movie.
And followed it up with Forrest Gump. So think about Forrest Gump before or after April 5th, 1993.
I'm going to say after.
Going out with a 40-point boom. That's right. After came out in 1994, so I think he might have won in 95. I think he was like an Apollo 13 after that.
Yo, Tom Hanks was like on
every
tear.
year. No, every year. It
dominating the award season cycle.
No, he was the guy for a while. He's still like doing those movies now, but I think people are kind of just over him. I don't know. He just doesn't get the same amount of nominations.
We're too overwhelmed by all that talent.
Yeah. Also, too, I think his son Chet Hanks is maybe kind of poison the water. Are you hip to Chet Hanks, the rapper? Chet, aka Chet Hayes?
No.
Who speaks in a Jamaican accent?
No.
Folks,
no.
You are really missing out on something if you don't do a deep dive into Tom Hanks' family tree.
Oh boy, all right.
Chet Hanks, aka Chet Hayes. Wow.
Why Hayes?
This is marijuana.
Oh,
Hayes.
that kind of haze. I thought spelled like the name Hayes.
Haze, Chet Hayes.
Got it.
I think he did like a little knockoff of Wiz Khalifa's Black and Yellow, like called White and Purple, because he went to like Northwestern. This guy is something.
This is embarrassing.
He's amazing.
Imagine being Tom Hanks and like your son is just such a clown.
Kinda.
Like,
yeah. I mean, he's Joke Daddy's tattoos. Oh yeah, I think last year he had his hit of the summer. It wasn't a hit. White Boy Summer. Didn't catch on.
No.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Good job, masses.
Thank you.
Good job, masses. Masses, come on over us on Twitter at @DNVR_Rockies, because we still are having fun on the content.
Always.
At Patrick D. Lyons is where I'm at on Twitter.
And I am at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms.
Suzie, this show has given us some momentum. Your voice has some momentum. It sounds better than when we started.
I think it just needed a little warming up.
That was it. You just needed about 3 or 4 podcasts this week. And so tomorrow's show on Friday is going to be on point. But you know what they say about momentum.
What do they say, Patrick?
It's only as good as your next show. So we will see you tomorrow on YouTube about 5 o'clock on the DNVR Sports channel on YouTube.